Hello, my friends. I'm back. I'm your local art witch, and today we are going to talk about this deck right here. It's a set of 100 cards, astrology cards. I did buy this on Etsy. I bought it at the same time as this deck, which I posted a week ago. This deck, I have some words. Because I don't want the shop owner to have a hard time, I will not link her shop, separate shop, not the same person. But the cards themselves, $10. I mean, I would pay $15 for 100 cards, you know. The shipping was $50, like $56. Absolutely ridiculous. I did not catch it. As I said, I bought these two items at the same time, and I didn't catch it, so I'm going to be more wary of that in the future. So let's get into this. I bought a set like this before, but they were tea leaf reading cards, which I will have to link. And the tea leaf reading, almost exactly the same idea. It was 100 cards, and it was really disappointing. I do like this box, just for this. I'm kind of a magpie/crow. So it has little thumb holes. I love that we've got the little stars. I love the colors. It did come a little damaged, but like this just tells me a little bit about what astrology is. So, and I already know, so no biggie. Now, as you can see, these are kind of small. I would guess that they are about the size of a general playing card. So they're quite a bit shorter and just not as wide as like a standard tarot card. Oops, let's get that back in there. Alrighty. So we've got, I do like this is broken down more than the tea leaf reading cards. So we've got our planets here. The moon and the sun are considered planets as far as within astrology. Our luminaries here are planets. It tells us simply what it rules. I do like that. And it gives you a little description for each one. Static values. I do like the simple art. Jupiter. And what's really cool is it tells us also what it co-rules for planets that rule more than one. Now, let's see. So these planets that are further back in our solar system, the ancients didn't see those back in the day. So this is more modern astrology. So I like to use a little bit of mixture of both depending on what I'm trying to read for. Neptune, Pluto, and then we've got, I wonder, just out of curiosity. Yeah, so all the backs look exactly the same, which is fine. We've got the actual signs. This is usually what people know about astrology. So whatever your sign is here, it tells you what element and life. Oh, I never noticed the life purpose. Oh, it's got some negative traits too. I like that. I like it. It's kind of a nice kind of thought experiment, I guess. Like all of us can be, short-tempered, for example. And it's nice to kind of be mindful, I find. We've got Virgo. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen Virgo depicted with wings before. That's cool. Libra. I like that the stars are within, like it's nice to see how they came up with the image. Because sometimes there's some, and I'm like, I don't understand how you see a bull in this image, right? So I find that helpful. Scorpio is, oh, okay, I see. A little, but I don't know, it's kind of a inconsistent, reckless, and sometimes cold. Yes. Capricorn and Aquarius. When you do get the cards, they come in the order of which the new year was originally around, right? Birth chart. So it tells us a little bit about how to read a chart. Oh, that's helpful. So here's what a chart would look like. So you can go on to basically any website and plug in your info. Knowing your birth time is extremely helpful because that's how, like, half of your chart is based on what hour you were born. And that's how your houses are determined. So the planets are the basic energy. The signs here that you're seeing, these are astrological. See, that's Capricorn, for example. So let's choose. So Scorpio here has some planets, and Saturn is in Scorpio. So that disciplinary energy of Saturn is displaying in the Scorpion way, which is a water sign. So like kind of a more emotional, secretive way. Like Scorpio tends to, that energy wants to keep to itself. And it is in the third house, which is your house of communications. And so that's how it would basically be read. So it is counted counterclockwise. And so that's why your birth time is so extremely important. You can't get a lot of the information if you don't know the time. So it's got a little bit more info here. We recommend keeping the illustration cards of the zodiac signs, houses, and planets to the side so you can refer to the symbols. And so, yeah, that makes sense. So if you have Venus in Gemini, go look at card 56, and then that can tell you. Let's see, let's try it out. 56. Venus in, oh, see, okay, wait, we gotta slow down. You know what? I might have just enjoyed these cards a little bit more now. Okay, so what are these? Okay, planets, signs, birth chart. It's got your houses, 26, 27. So this would be considered your ascendant, which we need to know your birth time for. And that's basically how you show up in the world, how other people perceive you. Finances, material stuff, communication, home and family. Your foundation is how I think of the fourth house. Your fifth house of creativity, health and well-being, relationships. And that doesn't have to be just romantic. Business partners and even enemies. So one-to-one relationships. Transformation. And I'm not sure I'm able to say these ones, but there you are. So the eighth house is where we encounter many of the darker aspects of life. So experience of loss, emotional crisis, and deep transformation. So it's not always bad, though. Transformation can be a good thing. Quest and adventure. Yes. Philosophy, higher learning, religion type of stuff in the ninth house. Careers and social status. So this is one of your most visible houses. It's kind of up at the top of your chart. Public image, social media, friendship, and community. So still pretty public. And this is a more secretive house. It's your self-conscious, dreams, secrets, and emotions. Okay. So when you look at your star chart, you're going to have, your sun sign, your moon sign. You have a sign for each of the planets. And this looks like it's going to give me that. So, for example, my moon is in Cancer. So, deep instinct to nurture and protect yourself and others. You like to feel safe and supported. Now, for something like that, that's going to be true of most people. But for me, your moon is also about your emotions, like in general. And for me, like safety, feeling safe, feeling supported, feeling protected. It is a major, major driver for me in my life. So we've got, and then we've got Mercury. I don't remember where my Mercury is. Mercury is your planet of communication. So if you look at your chart, you can see where Mercury is, and it will give you a little bit about the energy of how you communicate. And that can display in different ways depending on what house your Mercury is in. So there's Mercury. Jupiter is your planet of growth, higher learning, adventure. And so there we are. Mars is your planet of action. Kind of interesting that Jupiter appeared before Mars. Anyway, your action planet. Venus is your love planet, your relationship planet. Saturn is about discipline and all those. Uranus is about rebellion and change, invention. And each sign displays that a little differently. Pluto is the planet of transformation, endings. Pluto, Neptune. That's the dreaming planet. It's the where reality and fiction can reality and delusion can kind of collide and be difficult to tell apart. Neptune. Okay, so we've got some of the planet symbols. Now, in certain charts, some of these signs are going to look a little different. I've seen different signs for Pluto. Like sometimes you'll see a P mixed with like an L. First house planets. So depending on what planet is in your first house, you can tell what kind of energy you have. I'm trying to think. I can't remember what planets are in my first house. But if you say have Saturn in your first house, you come across as very mature, responsible. You can have a pessimistic outlook on life and your self-image. Second house, that's really cool. This really breaks it down. I like it. Fifth house, sixth. So it's broken up into all the houses. Very cool. I like it. You know what? I'll be keeping this deck. I was going to keep it anyway just because I paid so dang much in shipping. But if you can get something like this locally, I think this would actually, you know what? I approve. I approve of this deck. I wasn't sure. I was prepared to be disappointed just because of how the tea leaf reading deck went. I got rid of it. I was just so disappointed. And frankly, I paid too much for it. So, very cool. I like it. I'm excited to use it. And especially because it's small, I could easily, something I like to do is I put my cards, in a circle and then try to put, it helps me visualize on a bigger scale with some of the keywords about what is happening in a chart. I've done this with a few, and if you all are interested, there's some kind of famous people that I'm interested in, and maybe we could do a chart together. How do y'all feel about that? Let me know. because I'll do it. And I think the practice is going to help me become better at reading. I love astrology for shadow work. It's perfect. Let's put these back. I'll even keep the little tuck box. It's a nice little place to keep it. I do like the tuck box. I was a little scared that my favorite thing about this deck would be this. But you know what? This is actually a good deck. I recommend, especially for $10, you can't go wrong with this. I shouldn't say don't get the tea leaf reading deck, but okay. So those were astrology cards. And I'll put some links down below. Try not to pay too much for shipping. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. This has been a lot of fun. I've been your local art witch, and I'll see you all again next time. Take care of each other. Bye-bye for now.